Mohawks. He was forcing the net yesterday. Ichabod has a bit of a stomach bug when they're cold. Good, respectable in the JV contest. Saints win the draw, force it to the far side. Henkel chips it into the zone. It's knocked back out to center ice. Xander Sheehy dumps it in the zone there. Played back to Anders Hill. He'll fire it ahead. Jackson Heacock takes it to the red line. Forces into the zone. Chipped deep into the zone by Alex Henkel. Back in the net goes Medline. Forced out the far side. Hard off the boards, off the center ice. Liam Henry plays it ahead to Heacock. Heacock bangs it into the zone. And they'll go for a change. Mason City the other way. Plays it ahead to Heacock. He's got Jensen Hill out in front of him. Sam Ruiz darting in off the bench. Hill loses it behind the net. Ruiz walks it out in front. It's knocked to the corner. Played back to the corner now by Ruiz. It's Lane Hansen. Spins away from a Jensen Hill check. Jackson Heacock finishes out the change. Wider jumps over the boards. Carney carries it into the Mohawk zone. Forces down to the corner. Played around to the near side. Hill will try and pick it up there. Battles Hansen. Now it's knocked back out to neutral ice. Hindemeister back there. Pass the glove down by Cade Weiner at the red line. Chipped ahead. Eli Schwartz off the bench. He'll carry it in. Thrown into the boards hard. Puck back behind the net. Sammy Ruiz knocks it over to Eli. Eli cycles back behind the net. And Mason City will throw it out to neutral ice. Benzik's there to collect it. Plays it ahead. Schwartz gets just a piece of it. Maybe a little too hot and fast. Zick back up again. Gets ahead to Schwartz. Schwartz ahead to Randall. Randall in the slot. Shot deflected high and wide up into the netting. 13:01 or 13:07 left in the first period. We'll get pulls, Randall and Schwartz. Back by Hill and Henry. Shot fired on net, kicked aside by Jocelyn Endelman. Played back to Anders Hill. He'll send it towards the net, just out of the reach of Eli Schwartz. Medlin in the corner, takes a big hit from Schwartz. They'll work it off the boards. Henry tries to send it back in. His pass is blocked. Saints tag up and go back on the attack. Michael Poles tries to get away from Quentin Peterson. He'll work it up through neutral ice in the attacking zone. Liam Henry pulls the puck off and drives it to the far boards. Shot high and wide over the head of Andy Shell. Fired on net, blocked by Henry. It's going to Michael Poles into the neutral zone. Puck knock into his skates. Set up the far side. It's Alex Henkel. Works it to the near boards. Across the blue line with some speed. Sends it to the corner. Puck loose behind the net. Henkel's got it there. He's got a trailing Heacock, but can't hit him. Comes back to Schwartz at the blue line. Or Schultz at the blue line, I should say. Schultz with the big hit from Brady Beaver. Must be Dustin Beaver. I'm going to look. Anyway, back to neutral ice. Played up to Schultz. Schultz has got Heacock on the far side. Gets the puck to him. He'll dump it into the zone. Back behind the net. Played around to the far side. Hard off the boards. Past Heacock. Schultz had his man tied up at the neutral zone. Saints control. Zick fires it a little too hot and heavy for Sheehy to collect. Comes back to Zick. Played ahead, just out of the reach of Heacock. Now he gets it though, just inside the blue line. Mason City back to the defensive zone. Zick plays it over. Liam Henry's got it in the corner. Reverses field, tries to come back up the near side. He'll play it up the boards. Jensen Hill kicks it ahead to Weiner, back to Hill. Ruiz jumps in, knocked just back to the neutral zone. Weiner plays it a little too hard, too fast, back to Henry. We need to put a little touch on our pass this morning, boys. Let's bullet. Now it's Weiner at center ice. He'll stall as Ruiz gets into the play. Dump back to Hill. Backhander towards the slot. Hill collects it, throws it out in front. Just out of the reach of Sammy Ruiz. Mason City will send it to length for an icing. We're going to check on that. It is Brady Bieber. I promised the Mason City parents I spoke to last night I wouldn't call him Justin all day. Called him Brady twice now. I think I can go back to Justin. We'll get Eli, Tyler, and Michael out. Back by Anders and Leah. Quinn Peterson cheating in just a little bit from the backside. Randall in for the faceoff. Bucks down, one back to Anders Hill. Hill dumps it down the boards. Bowles picks it up there, walks the blue line. Shot towards the net, blocked by the defender in front. Peterson's got it. Tries to force it out. It's knocked down by Bowles. He'll get it back to Liam Henry. Henry sends it up to Weiner. Knocked off his stick. That's not Weiner. That's Eli Shorts. It doesn't even look like Weiner. Battled on the near wall. Michael Bowles chips it out to center ice. Medlin there over to Peterson. Sent back to the far side of the ice. They'll drop it off for Medlin. Drives wide. Bouncing puck through the slot. Schwartz spins it off to Liam Henry. Henry now works it up the far side. Carries it into the zone. Down to the faceoff dots. Back behind the net. It's knocked off the puck there. Sheehy comes in, knocks it loose. Now Henry back in the corner, battles for it. Sheehy walks out, shot. Deflected high and wide into the netting. Liam relieved by Landon Schultz. He'll join Ben Zick on D. Peacock Sheehy Hankels stay out of the forward line. Sheehy to the dot. Mason City wins to the corner. Now they'll play it up the near side. Schultz holds it in temporarily. Henkel battles it back down. Glove down by Schultz. Houses back to his own defensive door. Plays there to Sheehy. Sheehy across the line. Back to Jackson Heacock. Heacock shot. Kicked aside by Edelman. Henkel now up the boards. Schultz jumps in. Gets a shot wide of the net. Kicks out to the far side where Cervantes is. He tries to play it out. Heacock can't quite hold it in. Sheehy came back across the line and touched it. That's not how offsides works, sir. We'll send out a change with Sammy Ruiz, Jensen Hill, Cade Weiner out there. Cade Weiner in the indoor football go position, which requires us to win the faceoff. And we did not win the faceoff again. Peterson spins away from Jensen Hill. Mason City struggles to get it out of the zone. Cade Weiner digs in the corner. Mason City battles back behind the net. Gets up to Hindemeister, taken away by Sammy Ruiz. Tries to backhand it down to Weiner. He's got it in the slot. 4 guys on him. You should probably send more. Wrapped around behind the net. Hansen's got it there. Long cross ice back. Knocked down by Weiner. He wins the race to the boards. Beats Peterson. Back to the point. His Ben Zick's shot is blocked. Sent across ice. Hindemeister tries to clear it out. Schultz holds it in. Now back out to neutral ice. Sammy Ruiz plays it ahead to Cade. Taken away by Mason City. Hindemeister now to the far side of the net. Stolen by Ruiz. He'll wheel through center ice. 1-on-4. Puck knocked to the corner where Eli Shorts will try and win the race to it. All the way back to the blue line. Liam Henry knocks it in. Now it's Schwartz in the corner. Walks behind the net. Comes and spins at the corner. Plays it back behind the net. Can't connect. And it'll go the length of the ice for an icing. Liam Henry heads to the box. 2 minutes for interference. That brings out Ben Zick, Landon Schultz, the serial killers, Xander Sheehan, Jackson Peacock. Face off just in front of the Dubuque bench. Shots are 3-0 in favor of the Saints. It's Eli Schwartz, not Liam Henry in the box. It is Eli Schwartz. I call him Elliott. All right, Mason City up through center ice. Hintermeister fires into the back of Kearney. We want to appreciate that. Jackson Heacock battles for it on the boards. Sprints loose. Sheehy picks it up. He turns it over along the boards. Hintermeister now back to the point. Sheehy and Heacock bottle them up. Back to Hintermeister, top of the circle. They'll play it to Hansen. Now they find some free room over on the far side. Back to Hansen in front of the net. Saved by Shell. Puck went in after the whistle. Shell didn't quite have control of it, but the whistle had blown. We'll get Weiner and Hill back out. Hill in for the faceoff. Ref comes over to the bench and said, I blew the whistle. Deal with it. Puck's down. Controlled by Mason City at the blue line. Fed down low. Through the middle. Nobody home. Hintermeister's got it on the near side. Played back to Hansen at the blue line. Sends across. Back to Hansen. I think that's Avery Byer on the far side. Back to Hansen again. Sent to Hintermeister at the face-off dot. He'll send it through the middle. Carney can't connect in the pass through. Right back around the boards. Hintermeister on the near boards. Knocked away there. They'll continue to battle for it. Schultz puts a body into him. And then behind the net. And that's off. And that's off by Liam Henry, but I don't feel like that was intentional. Oh, my laptop's about to die, which isn't really a problem, but that's how I'm controlling my scoreboard. So we'll see if I can set up an alternative scoreboard. 30 seconds left on the power play for Mason City. Sheehy and Heacock back out. Peterson now, top of the blue line. Plays off to Cervantes on the far side. They get it back to Pearson. Played off to the near side to Rutrow. Shot, saved by Shell. Face off down. Jackson Heacock still battling for it. Now Anderson comes over and clears the zone. 3 seconds left in the penalty. Penalty killed. Jackson Heacock. Everyone to shy away from the challenge, though. Xander Sheehy steals the puck, sends it on net. Quentin Peterson steals it. He'll wheel it back out through center ice. Ankles avoids the penalty. Wheels off from Peterson at the last second. Now back behind the net. They continue to pester him, though. Then out in front, Cervantes tries to wheel over to Rutrow. Knocked away. Heacock there. He's got Henkel with him. Plays ahead. Henkel into the zone. Shot. Saved by Edelman. All the way back out to center ice. Sammy Ruiz takes it. Played back to Schultz. Cade Weiner off the bench. Walks around one. Into the zone. Shot. Goal. Goal. Goal, goal, goal. Cade Weiner buries one. Gets the Saints up 1-0. Puck's down. Mason City controls off the faceoff. Dumps it into the zone. Wrapped around. Landon Schultz back to get it below the goal line. He'll send it up the far boards. Knocked back to Schultz. Schultz high off the glass into the netting for a whistle. Still working on getting that laptop up. He got Henkel out. We're going to go to both barrels here for a couple of shifts. Puck down, kick back to the D. Mason City works on the far side. They'll try and get it over to Medlin. Medlin shot, blocked in front by Blake Schrader. Forced out to neutral ice by Sheehy and Heacock. Heacock battles for it in front of the boards. Now he'll walk away with it. Spins it back to Henkel. Henkel into the zone, chips it in. He'll race to get it below the goal line. Tries to play it out in front. Midline hits him completely unnecessarily. Now back behind the net. Kicked out to the far side. Cooper Smith knocks it in the zone. Henkel battles for it behind the net. Hansen wraps around to the near side. Heacock now walks into a blind hit. Cooper Smith back behind the net. Drops off for Ben Zick. He'll work it back behind the net. Back off to Smith. Played back behind the net. Smith picks it up. Tries to play it ahead to Henkel. Henkel's got it on the near boards. Battles with Peterson. Laptop just died. Ben Zick has it taken away at center ice. Need a stoppage so I can configure my iPad. Peterson, long cross ice pass over to Byer. Maybe not Byer. Cooper Smith behind the net. Plays it back. Ben Zick. Up to Tyler Randall. Ahead to Micah Poles. They're coming 3-on-2 if they hurry. And they didn't. Randall now at the blue line. Forces it into the zone. Drops off for Poles. Poles walks to the corner. Centers to Schwartz. Now knocked back out to center ice. Anders Hill plays it ahead to Randall, who's hit rudely from the close to behind. Chipped into the zone, past Henry. He'll go back to get it behind his own net. Reverses field, tries to go out the far side. Peterson's there to knock it down. Tries to send it to the middle. It's taken away by Cooper Smith. Could be Tyler Randall. They look very similar. Set out in front. Redirection blocked by Liam Henry. Now back behind the net they come. Kicked out. Andy Shell with a nice save. Good news. Got control of my clock again. I know you were all worried sick. Carney out against Ruiz. Mason City wins. Medlin steps into a shot, saved by Andy Shell. Jensen Hill battles for it on the boards. Mason City very physical as opposed to yesterday's game. Saints jumped out to a big lead. Mason City tries to walk it up the near boards. Fired wide of the net. Now sent through the zone. Weiner's got it on the far board. Spins away from one. Pushes out to Jensen Hill. Hill and Samuel Ruiz, 2-on-1. No. Mason City counters, and they're going the other way. Hintermeister's got it there. Plays it ahead. To no one. All the way down to the corner it goes. Anders Hill tries to send it up the boards. Samuel Ruiz can't hit Cade. Now played all the way back to the Dubuque defensive zone. On the goal line, they'll pull it off the end wall. It's Liam Henry there. Struggles to get it away. Now Sammy Ruiz has got stretch pass. Driven up the near side. Blake Schrader plays over to Landon Schultz. Chipped ahead. Henkel will run it down the corner. Takes it back around behind the net. Plays it back to Schrader. Can't quite hold it in, and that's offsides. 2 minutes to play here in the first period. Saints ahead 1-0 on the Cade Weiner goal. Sheehy, Henkel, and Heacock will stay up there for the faceoff. Won by Mason City. They'll go D to D. Tried to play it out the far side. Dumped into the zone, wrapped around to the near side. Blake Schrader knocks the man off the puck, tries to get it ahead to Henkel. Can't quite do it. Centering pass blocked by Landon Schultz. Wrapped around the far side. Jackson Heacock is there. He'll send it out to center ice. Sheehy pressures Medlin. Mason City counters. They're back into the attacking zone. Shot blocked by Blake Schrader. High off the glass. Sheehy into the zone. Medlin pokes it loose. Sheehy continues to battle for it. Now on the boards. Medlin plays it high off the glass. Sheehy got the better of him as he went by. Saints for a change. Randall jumps over the boards. Eli Schwartz on the near side. Walks away from one. Walks away from another. Into the zone he comes. Big hook by Cervantes. One-timer, Michael Poles' shot is blocked. Knocked straight up in the air. Schwartz has got it now in the corner. His shot fired on net. Loose in front. Covered by Edelman. Pushy woo ensues. Cleveland Henry will check in for Cooper Smith. He'll join Ben Zick on the blue line. Saints will leave out Eli Schwartz, Tyler Randall, and Michael Pulse. 41 seconds left in the period. Puck's down. One back to Schwartz. Ben Zick sends it on net. Glove by Endelman. They'll hold on for a whistle. 35 seconds left in the period. Faceoff will move to the left of Endelman. Randall still to take it. That's his preferred side. Mason City wins, though. They'll send it around the back of the net. Wrapped around and can't be held in by Henry. 30 seconds left in the period. Henry all the way back. He'll go D to D behind the net to Zick. Zick plays it ahead. Pulls, directs it out to neutral ice. Mason City will counter now. Into the zone. Henry's got it. Works it down the board. Driven into the corner hard. 7 seconds left. Let's get out of this alive. Shot. Kicked aside by Shell. That'll do it. After one, the score is 1-0 in favor of the Saints. Sheehy to the faceoff dot. Puck's down, controlled by Mason City. Jumps over the stick of Medlin. Sheehy and Henkel work him on the far side. Now Hansen tries to play it up the boards. Jumps over the stick of Henkel. Played down to the corner of Sheehy. Sends it out. Bouncing puck. Kicks it back to Zick at the point. Shot blocked in front. Heacock puts it up under the ball. Goal! Bing, bang, boom. Jackson Heacock with a nice under the bar goal. Doubles the Saints lead, then 2-0. We do it for that line for 25 seconds. Job well done. Get Sammy Ruiz, Cade Weiner, Jensen Hill out. Puck's down, controlled by Mason City. Back to Medlin again. Medlin chases it all the way back to the corner. Sheehy and Zick with the assists on the Heacock goal. I said those six are Dangerous two lines to deal with. Scary 6. Back the other way. Mason City dumps it in. Otters Hill tries to wrap it out to the near corner. Fired on net. Wide. Tries to throw it out in front. Hits the side of the net. Now Mason City back behind the net. Hintermeister on the far side. Kicks it back to the point. But Medlin has it. He fires on the net. Hits traffic in front. Now dish through. Loose puck in front. Glove down by Medlin. Fired to the corner. Mason City cycles to the corner. Fire there. Plays it back behind the net. Liam Henry kicks it back to the near side. Anders Hill forces it up the boards. Sam Ruse picks it up and he'll advance it up the ice. Chips it into the zone. He'll go for a change. Cade Weiner chases it down in the corner though. He's got it behind the net. Tries to go out in front. Knocked down rudely by Carney. Tyler Randall forces the play wide. And Schultz just a half step off sides. Now they're back on. Long pass goes unconnected for an icing. So with 15 minutes left in the second period, the Saints now hold a 2-0 lead. Shots on goal in favor of the Saints, 9-6. We'll get Pohl, Schwartz, and Randall out. They're backed by Zick and Landon Schultz. Puck down. Schultz banks it down the boards. Collected by Schwartz. He'll fire it down to the near corner. Wrapped around to the near side. Michael Poles pulls it off the board. Zick from the point. Deflected in front by Poles. Endelman just got a toe on it. Now back. Schultz can't quite hold it in the blue line. He'll retreat. Gets it to Zick. Zick plays it up the near boards. Endelman's got it there. Sent across ice into the stands. Sends the Mason City fans scurrying. Puck thrown back on the ice. This isn't Wrigley Field, folks. You get to keep those. So we'll get Sheehy, Henkel, and Heacock back. Henry and Hill back on defense. Sheehy to the dot. Someone just figured out we outside the zone. Okay. Sheehy still to the dot. Play changes a little bit. Mason City wins the draw. Plays it out to center ice. That's Cervantes. Through the neutral zone into the attacking zone. Back on the end wall. Sheehy tries to pick it up. Knocked off the puck there. Battle forward behind the goal line. Anders Hill knocks it loose. He'll wrap it up the far boards. Into the netting out of play. So we have Usby. Face off to come to the left of Shell. Sheehy out there with Brady Bieber. Face off. Won by Dubuque. Plays it ahead. Can't quite get it to Henkel. All the way back to the goal line. Anders to pick it up there. Spins away from one. Plays it up the middle. Out of the reach of Heacock. But on net. Edelman makes the save. Kick to the corner. Sheehy now behind the goal line. Plays it back to Henkel. Out of his reach. Jackson Heacock scoops it up behind the net. Works to the corner. All the way around the world. Across the blue line. Drops off for Henry. Bouncing puck gets away from him. Cervantes one-on-one with Anders Hill. Anders with a nice poke check. Oh, miss! Oh! Not sure what happened there. He got Henkel the other way on a breakaway. It's Austin Edelman had it right in front of her. Well, the game was wanting to stick their stick where that puck was, so it's a save. Hit the crossbar on the other side, I just heard. So they kind of spun everyone out of the way and had a wide open net. Hit the crossbar. So Sammy Ruiz now in for the faceoff. Jensen Hill battles for it in the corner. Still tied up there. Now Sammy Ruiz will work it back. Now fed back to the corner. Ruiz has got it on the boards. Sent out in front. Landon Schultz fire saved by Endelman. Cade Weiner, cross-ice pass to Zick. Jumps over his stick. He'll dump it down low. Jensen Hill tries to peel it off the corner. Now Weiner walks away from one. He's buried into the back of the net. Jensen Hill walks it to the other corner. Hits the brakes, reverses, gets back to Schultz, back to Hill. Behind the net it goes. Sammy Ruiz lifts Medlin out of the way. Gives him another poke on the way by. Unappreciated, but necessary. Weiner at center ice. Drops off for Schultz. Schultz, shot on net, saved by Edelman. She'll drop it. Hold on for a whistle. Randall Poles and Eli Schwartz jump over the net, boards. Randall in for the faceoff. Wins it back. Gets it over to Liam Henry. Liam shot on net, saved by Jocelyn. Hold on for the whistle. We're playing video games. These center mass shots will kill you every time. Unfortunately, the goalies have seemed to have figured that out. It's not going through their chest. So face up down, out in front, loose puck, knocked away. Sent back up the boards. Liam Henry holds it at the point, dumps it down low. Henry run over for no reason. Schultz sends it back down to the corner. Again, this third line doing a wonderful job of just holding it into the zone. 1-on-1 the other way. Liam Henry pokes it loose, drives it to the corner. We'll get a whistle. Liam Henry played a big hit before he picked up that puck. But the puck was right there, no call. Kind of put himself into the boards afterwards, if we're being honest. Cooper Smith, Jackson Heacock, Xander Sheehy, Alex Henkel, and Ben Zick. Some discussion from the referee here as to why that wasn't a penalty. The answer could be because I said it wasn't. I don't think the ref is that mean. So Sheehy into the dot. Puck's down, controlled by Mason City. They'll get it to the point. Jackson Heacock gloves it down. He's got Henkel with him. Blocks around one. Gets it back to the boards. Mason City will carry that to the near side. Back check by Henkel. Sent into the zone. Zick's got it there. Tries to spin it up the boards. Gets away from one. Now he's bowled over there. Sheehy's got it. Delayed penalty coming on Mason City. Played ahead to Heacock, who's knocked over by the force of Xander Sheehy's pass. Delayed call on Mason City. Medlin doesn't believe. Neither do the Mason City fans. So the Saints will send out the number one unit. Ruiz, Hill, Sheehy, Weiner, and Henkel. I believe all five of them are in the top 10 in scoring in the league, so the outlook good according to the Magic 8 Ball. Ruiz into the faceoff. Won by Mason City, though. They'll try and play it up the boards. Hold off by Ruiz. He'll send it over to Henkel. Henkel from the top of the circles, deflected in front. Weiner manages to hold it in. Sammy Ruiz on the blue line. Walks to the top of the circles. Spins off, tries to drop off for Weiner. Gets down to Hill instead. Hill's pass is blocked. Byer knocks it out to center ice. Sammy Ruiz back. Played to all kinds of interesting things happening down there. We got Jensen Hill racing down the ice. Takes it in on the far side. Walks around one all the way down to the end wall. Circles behind the net. Drops off for Cade Weiner. Weiner's got it at the tops of the circles. Walks down low. Gets it to Sheehy. Sheehy tries to backhand it over to Henkel. Wasn't ready for it. Hill's now in the corner. Back to Sammy Ruiz. Over to Cade Weiner. Weiner from the blue line. Walks to the other side. Drops off for Henkel. Henkel gives off to Ruiz. Bouncing puck. Held in by Henkel temporarily. Now cleared by Byer. And Ruiz back to get it. Second line, or second unit jumps over the boards for Dubuque. Sammy Ruiz, long pass up to Eli Schwartz. He tips it into the zone. Peterson sends it around the far side. Nobody home. Sammy Ruiz all the way back to get it. He'll tee it up behind the net for Anders. He'll go for a change. Still 20 seconds left on this power play, boys. Anders advances it up the ice. Carries it through the neutral zone into the attacking zone, where Jackson Heacock gets skated offsides. The second unit for the Saints consists of Eli Schwartz, Landon Schultz, Jackson Heacock, Anders Hill, Michael Poles. Forward second line as well. Face off one. Schultz gloves it down, plays it over to Anders, gets ahead to Eli. Eli ducks out of the way of Peterson's hit. They get over to Michael Poles, top of the circle. He drops off for Schultz. Back to Poles. Mason City steals. They'll send it to length. The time will expire on the Mason City power play. So with 9 minutes left to go in the second period, the Saints still up 2-0. Landon Schultz will advance it up the ice. Chipped ahead. Taken away by Mason City. They'll counter. Got numbers going the other way. Carney into the corner. Hill battles with him there, knocks him off the puck. Landon Schultz steps back, takes it away from one. Hard up the boards, just a little too far ahead for Michael Poles. Now Eli Schwartz has got it. He'll walk it across the blue line. Dumps it in, goes for a change. Henkel and Zick jump over. Heacock joins him. Mason City walks away from one. Schultz takes it away. Now it's knocked up to neutral ice. Offsides. 8:15 left in the second period. Saints up 2-0. Sheehy joins Heacock and Henkel. We got Cooper Smith and Ben Zick back on defense. Dylan Bieber will take the face-off from Mason City. Bieber wins it forward. Saints control now behind the net. Cycle back to Cooper Smith. Cooper Smith steps up shot there. Alex Cervantes comes out and forces him out the far side. He retreats back to the comfort of his own net. Now he'll play it back. Smith, long pass ahead. Can't connect with Sheehy. Mason City will fire it back in. No icing. Smith's got it there. Tries to play it ahead. Medlin and Heacock get tied up. Played back to the corner. Cooper Smith has it now behind his goal line. Plays it over to Zick. Zick ahead to Heacock. Heacock gets it up to Sheehy. Sheehy through the middle with some speed. He's got Henkel on the far side. Bouncing puck couldn't be controlled. Sheehy picks it up behind the net. Throws out in front. Nobody home. Anders Hill, top of the circle. Shot wide of the net. Kicks to the far side. Liam Henry waits for it. Gets it down to Sheehy. Drops off for Henkel. That pass is stolen. Anders and Liam switch sides. Liam dumps it into the zone. Jackson Heacock will forecheck. Send it out the far side now. That's still offsides. That's still offsides. Sammy hit it there. Should have been a whistle. Mason City now into the attacking zone. Jensen Hill takes it away. He'll get it back out to neutral ice. Mason City dumped in by Medlon. Sent around to the far side. Sammy there. Pops it up the boards. Sammy and Cade 2-on-2 the other way. Sammy hits the brakes, dumps it down to the corner. Cade picks it up there. Ridden into the boards hard. Again. That one seemed a little high and no attempt to play the puck. Stuck underneath Weiner. Face off to the right of Edelman. Samuel Ruiz will tee up for it. Mason City wins. They'll spin it off the boards, chip it by Honors Hill for an icing. No icing for some reason. That was icing all day, every day. Played up the near boards. Peterson's got it at the blue line. Dumps it down low. Honors Hill now tries to pitchfork it back into the corner. Taken away by Carney. Knocked loose. Cade Weiner's got it. He'll retreat back to his own goal. Does a couple pirouettes. Set ahead to Sammy Ruiz. Can't be controlled. Mason City will take it away. Send it back into the zone. That's Beyer. All the way down the corner it goes. Sent up through the middle. Poked loose by Jensen Hill before a shot could be fired. Hill's got it now below the goal line. Plays it to the corner. Still battled on. Liam Henry and Cade Weiner help out there. Weiner gets it out to center ice. Peterson has it knocked away by Jensen Hill. Now it's Cade Weiner on the attack. Across the blue line. Walks away from one. 1-on-3. I still like his odds. Played to the corner. Hankel's got it there. Back behind the net. Sheehy will chase Peterson. Knocks it away from him. Sent back out. Jackson Heacock takes it away at center ice. Landon Schultz, big pass to Henkel, who dumps it into the zone. They'll race to get it in the far corner. Jackson Heacock, the rabid Badger. It's not a Badger, it's what are those guys at West Dubuque called? Bobcat. Jackson Heacock shot. Saved by Edelman, kick to the corner. They'll try and play it out. Heacock picks it up at the red line. Circles through center ice. Avoids a couple checks. And she levels red row. Shot high and wide. Creams all the way over. She holds it in just at the blue line. Dumps it down to Heacock. Centering pass. Alex Henkel smashes on the side, and Jocelyn Edelman will cover for a whistle. So with 4:12 left in the second period. Business is picking up in the physical aspect. Still 2-0 in favor of the Saints. We get Cooper Smith out with Michael Poles and Eli Schwartz. They'll be backed by, Randall's the other forward on that line. Smith and Zick will be the defensemen. Face off won by Mason City. Michael Poles, though, drives it to the end wall. Poles sends it in front. Randall can't quite stuff it in. To the corner it goes. Dubuque all the way back to the red line to hold their spot. Zick now in his own defensive zone. Plays it ahead. Eli Schwartz. Does some fancy spins at the top of the circle. Dumps it down low. Randall picks it up on the end wall. Cycles back behind the net. Played out to the near side. Zick again knocks it down to the corner. Mason City breaks it out. They'll try the pass up to the middle, taken away by Zick. Zick up the boards. Mason City dumps it back in. Glove down by Cooper Smith. Smith sends it over to Schwartz. Schwartz tries to chip it in the zone. Mason City steals. Sent back in. On the end wall. Top line will jump over. Michael Poles forechecks. Sammy Ruiz knocks it loose. Knocked into the zone. Jensen Hill will push on. Wrapped around. Ruiz holds it in. Dumps it down low to Hill. He's got Weiner all alone in front. Can't get him the puck. Weiner comes over, takes it himself. Sauces the pass over to Ruiz. Now back to Henry at the point. Out the front. Medlin kicks it out to the blue line. High shot over the net. Sammy Ruiz picks it on the board. Wraps it down to the corner. They'll walk the goal line. Cycles it back down behind the net. Weiner feeds it back to the blue line. Shot saved by Endelman. Loose puck. Crossbar. Played out to the front, nobody home. Mason City controls, they'll send it the length of the ice for icing. 2 minutes left in the second period. Midwest line jumps over the boards. Schultz and Schrader on defense. Carney will line up against Sheehy. Duke wins. Played off the Landon Schultz. Top of the circle, fires it on net. Loose puck in front. Sheehy's got it on the far wall. Reverses, tries to get it back up the ice. Now it's Henkel behind the net. It's wrapped around to the far side. Hindermeister there, picks it up. Jackson Heacock knocks it back in. Alex Henkel pulls it loose from the face-off dot shot. Saved by Enderman. Sheehy works it off the boards. Right back out to Schultz at the blue line. Gloves it, or sends it high. Sheehy gloves it down. Fired just wide. Kind of rode him all the way into the end boards there. Continues to. Can't hit him in the back of the head, sir. Henkel shot on that. Loose. Kicks out to center ice. Schrader and Ruiz back. Now it's Landon Schultz behind his own net. Sends it around the far side. Heacock's still out there. Bill tries to chip it off. Can't quite get it done. Sammy Ruiz into the zone. Shot blocked. Loose in front. Sent all the way across the ice. Blake Schrader over there to pick it up. 45 seconds now in the period. Plays it over to Landon Schultz. Schultz through center ice. Tries to chip it ahead. Controlled by Peterson there in his own defensive zone. Taken away by Weiner at center ice. In the attacking zone he'll go. Walks around Hansen. Shot saved by Edelman. Loose in the corner. Sammy Ruiz in the corner. Tries to play it ahead. Blocked by the defender. Hansen there. Now it's Weiner in the corner. 15 seconds. Back to the point. Mason City. A little bit of a break the other way. Ben Zick back to get it. We're going to call a tripping penalty. That is, I don't agree with. With 3.9 seconds left, Ben Zick. We'll get 2 minutes for tripping. Ben Zick spends the last 4 seconds of the second period in the box. Mason City wins the faceoff. Shot towards the net, kicked away by Shell. And that'll do it on our second period. So after 2, the score here in Mason City is 2-0 in favor of the Saints. Shot. Jensen Hill on face-off duties. Puck down, controlled by Dubuque. Weiner's got it just inside his own blue line. Spins and finds some room. Stops in front of the bench. Backhands it to Hindermeister. Mason City now starts it up from the red line. Tries to dump it in. Weak attempt is cleared. Weiner now at center ice. Ducks out of the way of a couple. Lane Hansen back behind his own net. He'll work it out the near side. Up to the middle of the ice. Tries to hit Hindermeister just a little out of his reach. Weiner now fights him off. Circles behind his net. Hard off the boards. A little too hot to handle for Liam Henry. Back to the blue line. Tipped away by Weiner. Continues the battle. Sammy Ruiz sends it to length. Heacock and Sheehy. Over the boards. Mason City brings it up through center ice. They'll dump it in. Not the zone entry you typically see for a power play. Sheehy now sends it out. Henneman lets it go to the corner. Sheehy's there to make life hard for Lane Hansen. Now Hansen walks away with it. Still pestered by Sheehy. Comes over to Cervantes. He'll play it into the corner. Dump on the power play. Again, not the typical entry, but who might have judged your system. Medlin now from behind the net. Plays it over. Jumps over the stick of Rutro. Jackson Heacock battles for the puck there. Now everyone comes in for a rugby, what do they call those, scrum. Played down to the corner, 1 second left. That'll do it on the 5-on-5. Sent the length of the ice. No icing. That was definitely icing. Weiner knocks the puck down on the far boards. Tries a centering pass. It's blocked there. Mason City knocks it down on the end line. Sends it around. It's held in by Anders here at the hill of the blue line. Dumped down behind the net. Mason City will reverse it back up. Jensen Hill now knocks it down to Cade Weiner. Bad angle shot. Flings all the way to the far side. Landon Schultz has a bit of a problem from holding it in, but manages to do so. Sent back below the goal line. Mason City sends it going to the ice. And Shell will have to play it. Landon Schultz carries it up. Draws the red line into the attacking zone. Shot from the top of the circle is blocked by Peterson. Shot through the crease. Sammy Ruiz dumps it down below the goal line. Jensen Hill, first one to it. Cade Weiner spins back towards the corner. Kicks it to Hill. Shot. Fired wide of the net. Hill ridden off the puck by Peterson. Big hit on Sammy Ruiz. Sent towards the net. Peterson wraps it out to the near boards. Zick holds it in. Cade Weiner dumps down to Sammy Ruiz. Cross ice pass to Jensen Hill. Doesn't quite get all of it. Now it's Medlin in the corner. Mason City will walk away. 3-on-3 the other way. Played through center ice. Tipped up by Cooper Smith. Cade Weiner's there. They'll reverse direction. Cross the red line. Dumps it in for Eli Schwartz. Schwartz will chase it down to the corner. Battle on the near boards down there. Sent out to front, but behind Michael Poles. Now they'll play it out to neutral ice. Randall Schwartz and Poles. Cooper Smith behind the net. Plays dead to Eli Schwartz. Over to Randall. Eli Schwartz knocks it down. Played all the way back. Liam Henry over to Anders Hill. Played ahead now. Peterson spins away from Randall. Michael Poles knocks it a little deeper. That line will go for a change. Wrapped around to the far wards. Midland over there to pick it up. High off the glass. Glove down by Jensen Hill. He'll walk to the top of the circle. Shot fired and saved by Jocelyn Edelman. 12-10 left in the third period. Saints up 2-0. Shots on goal 25-10 in favor of your Dubuque Saints. Midwest line out with Anders and Liam. Sheehy to the faceoff against his Team Midwest teammate Cervantes. Wins the draw. Back to Henry. He'll fire it down the boards. It's taken away there. They'll try and bounce it back up to center ice, which they do. Henry back to Anders. Anders ahead to Xander. Forecheck there. Now played back up to center ice. Anders has got it again. Plays over to Henry. Henry through the middle. Dumped in. Taken away by Sheehy temporarily. Now the other way. Dumped on Andy. Played out. Just ahead of Sheehy. Medlin's got it. Plays it D to D. They'll send it up the far side. Henry there to make him dump it into the corner. Played around to the near boards. Just out of the reach of Henkel. Sent on net. Dangerous play by Liam Henry. Kick to the corner. Out of play. Henry made the save with his shin guard. Usually we count on the goalies to do that type of thing. Sammy Ruiz in for the face-off. One to Cade Weiner, streaking down the middle. He's got Jensen Hill with him, 2-on-2. Weiner takes it wide, hits the brakes, loses Midland, shot, fired wide of the net. Karams all the way around to Landon Schultz, who will dump it back into the corner. Hits Weiner in this corner. Works it back up the boards. Ducks away from one. Drops it off for Hill in the corner. Hill spins away. He's tripped. Medlin headed back to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. So the one unit out. Sammy Ruiz, Xander Sheehy, Jensen Hill, Alex Henkel, Cade Weiner. Puck fed over to Weiner. Back to Ruiz. Drops it out for Henkel. Mason City's going to apply the pressure here. Gets out to Ruiz. Sheehy in the corner. Shot. Saved by Edelman. Kick back to the blue line. Weiner holds it in there. Gets it over to Ruiz. Ruiz into Sheehy. Backhander over to Henkel. Oh, nice save by Edelman. Squeezes just between the pipe. Ruiz holds it at the blue line. Again to Henkel. Henkel back to Ruiz. Over to Henkel, top of the circle. Drops it down to Sheehy. Gets it back to Henkel. Loose puck. All the way to the far side. Cade Weiner's got it there. He plays off to Ruiz. Back to Weiner. Down to Hill at the goal line. Hill will walk it back up the boards. Dumps off to Weiner, but not enough. Jensen Hill now at the red line. Quick attack. Sammy Ruiz takes it into the zone. Held in there by Sheehy. His shot. Wide of the net. Played ahead. Glove down by Henkel. He works it down to the corner. Jensen Hill in the far corner now. Battles with Quentin Peterson. Hill with the big hit. Sends it out front. All the way to Sammy Ruiz at the blue line. Top of the circle. Weiner. Tips around one. Shot. Loose puck. Kicked out to the side. Henkel tries to send it in. Lays a big hit on Bieber. Weiner tries to wrap around. Caught in front of the net. If I knew a single Justin Bieber song, I would make a Justin Bieber reference. So the second unit out for the last 30 seconds of this power play. Second unit is Landon Schultz, Jackson Heacock, Michael Poles, Eli Schwartz, Anders Hill. Played back to Schultz, the blue line. He walks around one, down to the low top of the circle. Played through. Michael Poles at the side of the net. Hard up the boards. Landon Schultz stops it at the red line. He'll regroup at his own blue line. Cross-ice pass to Poles. Sends it through the middle. Now all the way back. Andy Shell stops it just behind the goal line. Landon will start us up there. Out the far side, down Main Street. Up the head to Heacock. Heacock tries to chip the boards. Can't quite get it. Mason City now struggles to clear the zone. Michael Poles being the normal pest he is. Knocks Alex Cervantes off the puck. Schultz plays catch with Schwartz. Head to Randall. Randall taken down, no call. Cade Weiner on the far side. Presses Peterson into a dump. Schultz back to get it. Carney puts a shoulder directly into the head of Landon Schultz. Wrapped around to the near boards. Medlin from the top of the circles. Shot saved by Shell. Now played up to the far boards. Mason City headed to the box. 5-on-5. Looks like Lance Schultz is headed to the box too. So Brady Bieber? Nope. Meyer. Meyer 2 minutes. Schultz 2 minutes. 7:54 left in the third period. Saints are running up the shots now at 30. And the Mohawks 13. And they're ahead on the scoreboard 2-0. Sammy Ruiz in for the faceoff. Sent up into the netting by Mason City. Ruiz back in for the faceoff. Puck's down, won by Mason City. They'll walk it from the top of the circle, loose in front. And the Meister couldn't quite finish. Now it's loose back to the slot again. Glove down. Carney sends it towards the net. It's blocked there. Cooper Smith gets it back to the blue line. Pops straight up in the air. Run off the puck hard and rudely. Now Jensen Hill has a little time and space. He'll drop it off for Smith. Smith gives off to Weiner. It's knocked loose at the blue line. Sammy Ruiz will run it down to the far side. Sends ahead to Weiner. Mason City bounces it off their own defender. Now they clear the zone. Ruiz off the boards to Hill. Knocked away from Hill and sent back to Anders Hill. He'll go D to D to Blake Schrader. Set ahead. Sammy Ruiz chips it in. Jackson Heacock presses the far side. Sent into the ice. Awkward bounce out of the corner. Blake Schrader picks it up there. Drops around one neatly. Sent ahead to Jackson Heacock. Plays it just out of the reach of Alex Henkel for an icing. 6:35 left in the third period. Saints up 2-0. Henkels and Heacock. Out for the faceoff to the right of Andy Schell. Puck's down, won by Dubuque. Played hard off the boards. Rubbed down by the tremendously tall Quentin Peterson. Into the corner comes. Henkel chips off the boards, gets it up to Sheehy. Sheehy feeds out to Heacock. Heacock off to the races on the far side. Plays it to the near boards. Sheehy back to Henkel, back to Sheehy. Sending pass to Heacock. Loose in front. Bouncing puck, controlled by Mason City. They'll play it out to center ice. Hits Zick in the foot. He wins the race, sends it up into the stands. We'll get Ruiz, Hill, and Weiner back on the ice. Cooper Smith, Ben Zick on defense. Indoor football play on one-on-one. Didn't win the faceoff. Weiner spins away from one, gets the puck back to Zick. Zick fires it up the boards, gets it to Hill. Weiner off the boards to Hill. Into the zone comes Jensen. Works it all the way down to the goal line, back behind the net. Circles up the near boards. Back to the blue line. Sends it on net. Loose puck, kick to the corner. Cade Weiner picks it up there. He's got it now. Counters back into the zone. 1-on-5. All right, maybe his odds aren't great 1-on-5. Sends it over to Sammy Ruiz. Tries to get it back to the middle. Played ahead. Hintermeister can't quite hand on to it. Now it's Weiner into the attacking zone. Shot blocked by Medlin. Sammy Ruiz under the hard boards. Now Anders Hill gets it over to Henkel. Back to Hill. Plays it at the boards. Henkel battles for it there. Sends it in the zone. Around the far side, Jackson Heacock pulls it off the wall. Now it's Sheehy, top of the circles. Gets tipped away from him. Still maintains it. Takes a couple slashes. Out to the far side, it's Quentin Peterson. Taken away by Jackson Heacock and dumped back in the zone. Henkel into forecheck, Medlin in the corner. Medlin sends it aerial out. Heacock loves it down at the blue line. He'll wheel through center ice. Finds a space on the far side to dump it in. Heacock the first one to dump it in and then the first one to get it. Sheehy out to Henkel. He's driven to the ice. Fired out the far side. William Henry gets it over to Sheehy. Sheehy will carry it through the neutral zone. Into the attacking zone. Knocked off his stick by Lane Hansen. Mason City now in the corner. They'll take it back beyond their own net. Blocked away by Schwartz. Held in by Poles. Schwartz can't get quite enough of it. Now it's Peterson the other way. He's 1-on-3. I definitely don't like his odds. Send over. Poles gets it back over to Schwartz. Schwartz has got it at the red line. Into the zone. Tapped down by Michael Poles. Loose puck controlled by Schwartz. Fires it back in the zone. Lane Hansen in the corner. High off the glass. All the way out to Ben Zick. Jumps over his stick. Blake Schrader to bail him out. Back behind the net he'll go. Hits the brakes there. Off to Zick. Zick up the boards. Michael Poles knocks it loose momentarily. Now Mason City controls. Carney takes it in. Tops of the circle. Shot saved by Andy Schell. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third period, and the offsetting penalties are expired. Landon Schultz rejoins his defensive teammates. We'll get Ruiz, Weiner, and Hill. Schultz and Hill back on defense. Ruiz into the faceoff dot. Won by Mason City. They'll fire it back to the point. Just out of the reach of Jensen Hill. Now it's blocked by Jensen, sent the other way. Lane Hansen back to get it. Sammy Ruiz with a full head of steam makes him send it around the boards. Medlin now struggles to get it out of his skates, dumps it in. Played ahead by Landon Schultz. Connected by Sammy Ruiz. Played over to Hill. Hill back to Schultz. Over to Hill again. He advances up through center ice. Finds Jensen on the far side. He'll chip it in the zone. Mason City thinks twice about going back to get it. Now they'll set up behind their own net. Cross ice pass over to Hansen. No, that's not Hansen, that's Medlin. Taken away by Dubuque in neutral ice. Sent into the zone. Weiner's got it there. Spins away. Tries to get it over to Ruiz. Can't quite make it happen. Now sent in. Tried to get the Mohawks in a too many men call. Someone's hurt in front of the Dubuque penalty box. Oh, it's the ref is down. The ref. Minute 44 left to play here in the game. The ref seems to be in a significant amount of pain. Up to his feet. Brothers in arms congratulate him. See if he can last another minute 44. Medlin, who's been talking and playing a physical game to Dubuque all day with a smile on his face to the ref. That's always good to see. Dubuque sends out Sheehy, Hinkle, and Heacock, backed by Hill and Schultz. Minute 44, down by 2. Mason City is going to just send out 4. Well, first of all, you get another guy. There he is. Second of all, you might want to think about pulling your goalie. Sheehy did the face-off, controlled by Dubuque. Will make it hard to get Edelman out. Peacock sends it into the zone. He'll chase him all the way down to the corner. Spun to the corner now. Peacock still causing havoc. Now Medlin's got it in his own defensive zone. Passed out to center ice. Edelman to the bench. 117. Mason City controls in the corner. Anders Hill roughs him up. Sent to the far side. Heacock over there. Played back down to the corner. Sheehy's got it. Doesn't get it off the boards like he'd like. Sent on net. Cleared away by Anders. Anders sends it out. Jackson Heacock at center ice. Gets away from one. Fires it wide of the net. Now Henkel down to press the issue. Making it hard for Mason City just to get it out of the zone. Set out in front. Henkel still battles for it back there. Mason City now a little time. Sent ahead. Henkel still presses the issue down below the goal line. They'll send it to the far side. Now passed over here to the near side. Hindemeister coming through the middle with some speed. Hindemeister shot. Saved by Shell. Bouncing puck. Anders Hill sends it to length. It's on net. It's got a chance and it's in. Anders Hill with the empty net icing goal. Gets us to 3 with 5.4 seconds left. Gets the puck. I'm assuming that's Anders Hill's first goal. I think it should count it with an empty netter. Supposed to have to. Oh, Andy Shaw gets an assist. Shaw in his first varsity win for Dubuque not only gets a shutout, grabs an assist to go with it. So that's the final here in Mason City. Saints prevail 3-0, get a 4-game sweep on the weekend at JV and Varsity. Shots on goal finish at 31-15. We're in Kansas City next weekend. We'll broadcast those games here on the Fighting Saints or on the High School Saints Network. That'll do it here. I'm Xander's dad saying if you can find a rink, you can find a friend.